back and get the full package later. One thing that's really interesting about this platform is if you're shooting an event live and you lose signal or don't have a signal at all to begin with, it will capture it, and as soon as it picks up a signal, will begin streaming again. So it's pretty sophisticated in handling connectivity challenges out in remote areas, which is pretty much all we know at League, with the exception of St. Louis. You know, auto posting to sites, whether it's YouTube or Facebook, your Facebook page, those things make it fairly easy to do. The challenge then, though, is that if we keep sending our content, I'm not suggesting you build a walled garden around our content, but if you keep pushing it out to all these places, how do you make sure they see all the rest that you have associated with that story? So there's an art and a science to how we aggregate content. That gets a little bit lost as we send it out into the chaotic and wonderful world of these other channels. Most of these platforms have a geo-awareness, so it can pin on a map where this video is being shot. There are privacy issues and concerns like that that can be addressed. And then, of course, a text chat. But probably the biggest deal in the world of Quick, and I suspect that we're going to see this whole battle to get on the decks remains alive, is that it now comes pre-installed on the new HTC phone that Sprint carries. So right out of the gate, people are walking around with these cameras. Now, to my way of looking at it, if there are 100 of these walking around town, or 500, and they know that if they're at an event, like a car wreck, train crash, whatever, they can hit a live feed and they know how to send that in, we've now just multiplied by 10 or 100x our exposure into the community. Quick users in here? Anybody's gone in there with that? How'd you like it?
It's cool. I used it the other day. We had a water main break on campus.
Mm-hmm.
And so I used Quick for that. Also used a regular flip cam.
Yeah.
So I had video on multiple sources.
You're covered. You know, love the flip cameras, by the way. Anybody else experiment with Quick? So, this guy, they seem to be resurgent and very easy to use. Kite is a different thing. I always look for an opportunity to put the Pussycat Dolls on any slide I make, but this is a good one. What's great about Kite for the music industry in particular is it's a very structured video world. Live streams coming in from 50 Cent or whoever, they build these shows. It's really more of a fan page than anything else. It's a place where these very polished video channels have emerged, both in archived video content and in live. And those live events are typically very artistically scheduled within this environment so that people who are following that particular artist are recruited back into the channel through the social networks they have in place. The video management tools and reporting metrics are probably the best that we've seen for live video streams and also for on-demand. If you can't capture and play back live and also on demand, it's really not a viable platform because people need to time shift. And I think maybe the other thing that makes this so appealing to producers and artists community is that you can very easily mix multiple sources of video, whether it's from archives, fan submitted. It's a very solid platform for weaving together different video sources that come from smartphones in the field. The downside at the very top is it only works on Symbian devices, so it's very limited, but that may not matter to us as a news organization. We're spending a lot of time trying to figure out how to outfit our staffs in our smaller markets with mobile journalist hardware and software. And if you're setting up for the first time and you wanted to go with Kite, you could probably go with standard deployment of the Symbian devices. But if you already have the equipment in hand, this may not be a viable alternative. Ustream really broke through here. I think it was in December that they finally made it through the iTunes store and gave the iPhone the Ustream access to live video feeds. This was something that for many of us who were anxious to get going with our iPhones celebrated. It's really important breakthrough, and others have started to come through, of course. Anybody worked with Ustream? It's a nice platform. It's pretty easy to use, and it has extensive. It's extended into many different platforms, so you're not really locked into the Symbian device like with Kite. You know, the updating and getting out to the social network to bring people back into the video stream is also very, very effective. Stickem's, I think it's an Israeli-based mobile web, mobile video platform, really focused on building community, peer-to-peer or my community, a real Facebook-like social connectivity thing. So, you know, we looked at this briefly. It didn't feel like this was something that would be suitable for a news organization because it was really geared to do something else, letting people connect with video. And one of the things, and I'm sure this is going to really boost the most profitable internet industry of all, but the one-to-one chat video seems to me to be going in a specific direction that, well, we're not headed in that I'm aware of, which is, you know, these private video chats. It's whatever you want to do. But the point being that, you know, they're going in that direction, and that's fine. It could be that, you know, we just don't see much merit to using this, but that's a personal opinion. If you found excellence here, I'd love to hear about it. It's a relatively small alternative platform, but interesting in their view of what they can do with smartphones, connecting people on a one-to-one basis. Bamboozer's, I believe, from a German platform. And what's interesting about this, in addition to the things we'll go over here in a second, is the appreciation of privacy. The European privacy considerations are significant and very interesting and might be helpful for us to emulate as things tighten up in the United States. Their model or their positioning statement is that there's almost no latency between the real event and what shows up on the display, and that means a lot if you've used some of these other devices. And I'm thinking specifically of Quick. There was upwards of 10 to 15 second delay, and it could have been my connection speeds when we were doing some testing, but it's just that break. What it does is it makes it impossible to have a discussion. It's like having a long-distance overseas phone call with somebody on a news show, and there's that lag, and you get that awkward, am I supposed to start talking now? So latency really matters in live video. And so that's where that's their real claim to the marketplace. Private video sharing and geolocation, again, many of these platforms allow you to set the privacy of your geo-disclosure. So that's part of, I suspect, what they bring from the European community. Any experience with these guys? Pretty much niche, but latency, it's a killer. Flixwagon, you know, this is, again, another peer-to-peer connection, but and very limited platforms that it works with, the Nokia and iPhone. You know, this is another example where privacy is, in terms of geolocation, is protected by letting you set how detailed, like the old GPS devices. You know, the range of accuracy was 50 meters, and now it's like 5 inches. But you can set that on the video stream so that people can protect their exact location. And the last of this live streaming video platforms, and we're just experimenting with these guys. This is a very new group coming out. And their idea, which we think has merit in certain applications, is allowing multi-panel